Here are the newest features of the NDI Discovery app that's bundled with NDI 6.2 that I think are really cool. So I'm going to show you how to set up the Discovery app, the new Discovery server, and how to control Studio Monitor with the Discovery app. It's a cool central point of control that lets you basically route sources from one window to all your Studio Monitor instances and any other applications that allow receiver control, like the Tractus Multiviewer is a really good one. I'm going to show you all the cool new features of the NDI Discovery app and the Discovery server. So here we go. Let's launch right into it. So when you start up NDI 6.2, you're going to be greeted by this screen. This has been around for a while, but I'm just showing it to you to show you all the components here. What we are looking for is Discovery. Now, this is the Discovery app, and it's not to be confused with the Discovery server, and I'll show you the difference in just a moment. So the Discovery app, we're going to open it right here, and it shows you all the senders, receivers, and settings on your network. So the senders are obviously anything producing NDI, receivers are anything receiving NDI, and then the settings is where all the magic happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a Discovery server. And right now you can see my local host, 127.0.0.1, it's trying to connect, but we don't have anything running. That's because the actual underlying Discovery service is not running yet. That process is really unchanged. NDI just changed the name of it in 6.2. So here's how you start that up. You're going to go to this folder on your desktop. If you're on Windows, local disk, program files, NDI, NDI 6 tools, and you're going to be greeted with a bunch of applications like this. What you're looking for is the Discovery service. This is now bundled in the NDI Tools download, but it does not run by default. So double click that, and there's a single application in here. You're just going to run that. When the NDI Discovery service starts up, it'll show you what's going on your network. If there's sources already there, it might grab them. If you don't see any sources showing up here, then we got to make one more change. Now, before I get into that, what is the NDI Discovery service good for? Well, it's good for if you have a lot of NDI sources on your network. It's a great way to minimize the traffic on your network. NDI by default uses MDNS, which uses multicast broadcast to announce all the senders and receivers on the network, or to announce itself. This is the same protocol that Apple uses. It's called Bonjour, MDNS. It's called Avahi on Linux. It has a bunch of different names. But the thing is, once you get a lot of senders and receivers, this can cause a flood of traffic on switches and overload switches and networks that are not really configured to handle it properly. So Discovery service gets around this, and it gives you a little bit more robust way to discover and receive NDI sources. It's good for the cloud. You need it in AWS or Azure or any other cloud service because they don't support multicast by default. And it's good to keep, like I said, to keep that network traffic down on a network switch or a network that might not be configured to handle multicast very well. So what we're going to do here is we've got it running. Now I can, just going to move this window down here out of the way to kind of show you what's going on. Now the next thing we need to look for is Access Manager. Access Manager is what's going to tell your computer to use the Discovery service and instead of MDNS, which is the default. So you need to go to Advanced. If it's not checked, check Discovery Servers and enter the IP address of the server, wherever you're running the Discovery service. If it's the same machine that the Discovery server is on, localhost is just fine. But typically, this is going to be an actual IP address of a machine on your network. So enter the IP here, hit apply. Then you're going to need to restart any application that is sending NDI. Once that's done, I can open up the NDI Test Patterns app. I'm going to go back here as a test, bring in a test pattern. Let's use the wonderful NDI logo or one of these purple check fields down here or the black and white one. Now I should see right here, it's showing me added source. That's the test pattern I just launched. So now we know it's working. NDI Test Patterns is talking to the Discovery service. All right, now we're going to open Studio Monitor to test all this out. So I'm just going to click it here in the NDI tools. You, of course, can launch it from your whatever taskbar or menu you want. And I'm going to right click here, and all of my sources, if configured properly, should be listed. So I'm going to go here and find my test pattern I just launched. I actually have 3 different copies of test patterns running now, so I'm just going to pick one. Now after a little bit, it should show up. I'm not sure why it took so long, but there it is. There's my test pattern. And just to confirm, now if I go to test patterns 3 and I change this, you should see the test pattern changing. And there's a remote guest placeholder that I created. That's a good use for test pattern app, by the way, is to create placeholders for remote guests. And we'll go back to our bars. Another really cool thing about the NDI Discovery app. Remember I said the Discovery app and the Discovery service were 2 different things? Well, here's what I was talking about. So I'm back in the NDI Discovery app, and you can see it's connected to my Discovery server, which is plugging away down here in the lower right. Well, I want to go over here to my Receivers tab. And what this will let you do is actually control receivers on your network remotely. In the past, Studio Monitor had a nice web interface, but it could get kind of clunky to remember which ports each instance of Studio Monitor was running on. The Receivers app gives you a nice, easy, one single pane of glass view of everything on your network. But you can see right now it's not showing up. Well, why is that? We need to go into the Studio Monitor app and make sure that the Allow Receiver Advertising option is turned on. So let's turn that on. And as soon as I do that, you'll see, hey, here I am. This Studio Monitor right here, this one right here, is now showing up, and it shows me what it's receiving. And I can click on Properties right here and get a nice detailed view of the NDI source that is being viewed by Studio Monitor. Well, why is this box grayed out? There is something new in NDI 6.2 called Receiver Control. So let's go turn that on. Go back to Studio Monitor, right-click, Applications, and check this, Allow Receiver Control. Now, this drop-down lights up, and now we can control Studio Monitor from here. So you can probably start to see the power of this. It's kind of like a built-in router interface for all your NDI sources. If you're running Studio Monitor on a bunch of monitors in full screen mode around your studio, you can use Discovery, the Receivers tab of Discovery, to control routing in one simple place. Now the Discovery app also lets you lock control, so this can't be changed. And it also lets you pin it here in case you have a whole bunch of receivers. It'll keep it in the window so it's easy to view. So those are the new settings that are part of NDI 6.2, receiver control, receiver advertising, and the Discovery app. It's all bundled in 6.2. It's free with NDI tools, and you can still run the Discovery service as usual to be able to have a more robust way to discover your NDI sources. Now, everything I just taught you applies to the cloud as well. If you want to build this out in the cloud using NDI tools, NDI routing, the Discovery server, and tools like vMix, TriCaster Vector, or anything else that supports NDI, check out my Cloud Studio Basics course. Head on to the link below, check it out, and it'll get you up and running in under an hour with a full studio in the cloud. I go over everything you need to know on how to set this up and build your own studio with very little upfront money, and you can literally run it for under $10 an hour. You don't have to invest in hardware, just a couple of software licenses, a little bit of time with AWS, and you can get a cloud studio business off the ground in no time. Check it out at Cloud Studio Masters and the link below. And if you like this video, remember to click the subscribe button below.